Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Audi Cycling YouTube channel, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Brabantse Pijl. Now that the dust has settled on Paris-Roubaix, and we can pretty much sort of start focusing on the next phase of the VELOGAMES Super Classico, which is the Ardennes. Honestly, the Cobble Classics weren't brilliant for me, and I'm quite looking forward to just kind of starting with a bit of a fresh slate. But let's go take a look at the Brabantse Pijl. Obviously, 163 kilometers, so it's not the longest race. We have multiple laps around Overijse, taking in the Hertstraat and the Morkerstraat multiple times. You know, the cobbles aren't that severe. There's definitely a gutter to be ridden in, which is going to make it a bit easier. Obviously, with the finish up to Overijse, it's 1-4 the punchers for sure, and there's not like the most intense, like high quality star list, and it's also worth noting that the star list isn't complete at the moment. There are still some teams, notably Astana and Jayco Alula, who are still to announce. Jayco Alula especially because Michael Matthews might well get announced for this race, and he is very consistent at finishing inside the top 10 and might be worthwhile mentioning, but I thought I'd make this video today rather than tomorrow, just so it's out in plenty of time. Wout van Aert is the most expensive rider, and he's had a tough time of it, hasn't he? Wout van Aert, he's had a tough time, but I think he's honestly been good. And in this quality of field, I think that he is definitely towards the top, one of the favourites for sure. So I think that Wout is a good choice. He has, I want to say that he's won this race, but I'm not actually sure if he has. He's always up there by the looks of things in this race. It suits him down to the ground, so therefore I think Wout is a good choice, nice and safe. You might well try to decide to go with a team without him and go, save some credits and redistribute, which I think could work, but I think Wout is a nice, safe choice. On the absolute opposite end of the spectrum is Remco, who we haven't seen racing at all this year, and is therefore a massive risk to be putting onto your team. I think that you're going to need some sort of crystal ball, inside information, or just general Remco Evenepoel fanboy enthusiasm to be picking him. The smart move is to not go with him. He's too risky for the credits that he's worth, but he could be a really good differential. And if he's firing on all cylinders, then he will be very dangerous in this race. But I'm just not willing to take that chance on Evenepoel, but don't let that stop you if you do kind of feel the inclination to. Pidcock I think is good. Yeah, he has won this race. I think maybe I was thinking of the edition where him and Wout van Aert were head to head or something. Pidcock I think is a good choice for this race. He seems to be in really good form. Obviously he's just this year in general, and I think that coming into the Ardennes, this is a main target for him. So not necessarily this race, but to be in form at this time of year is really important. So Pidcock I really like. I also like Benoot. He quietly just accumulates points throughout the Super Classico, and you don't ever really pick him, but he always sneaks in those sort of 6th and 7th places and just slowly climbs up the rankings. I quite like Benoot. I think that him and Wout van Aert is a good duo and could be very good for you to put onto your team. Benoot was really strong, I think, in Villonda. We haven't seen him since then. And I think this and Amstel Gold Race is a very important set of races for him. So I quite like Benoot for this race. Wellens is also incredibly strong in this race. His level of consistency in this race is almost unparalleled, I would say. So I think Wellens is a really good choice. His recent form hasn't been that great. Obviously that crash at Dolondo, I don't know how that's affected him. He did seem to take quite a hit in that race. So I'm not sure about Wellens. Maybe wait to see what UE say in their press release. But Wellens is certainly one to consider. Corbin Strong was in the top 10 of this race last year, but really requires a bunch sprint style to be doing well. And usually that doesn't happen. You'll generally see a group fighting for the victory, which is small. So Corbin Strong might only realistically be fighting for the bottom end of the top 10, which at 20 credits might not necessarily be worth it. And you could say the same for Michael Matthews if he's added. Dylan Teuns was up there in this race last year. He finished on the podium, but he hasn't looked that great recently. But He could really pull it out of the bag. He did last year, so there's no reason he couldn't do it again. You've got Jan Christen, who's coming back from injury from the Fon Ardèche Classic. Vandenberg was in the top 10 last year. Maybe if he held out for the sprint, he might have won, but he finished inside the top 10, certainly worthwhile thinking about. Blackmore was 4th in this race last year. Do you remember he was like 8 credits or something last year? It was almost like his big breakthrough race, I would say, was Brabantse Pijl last year. 4th place, trying to lead out. It was Turns, I think he was leading out, because Turns was on Israel Premier Tech last year. Quentin Hermans was also in that group last year. I think he was 6th place, so I think he's certainly worthwhile thinking about. Although there is Tibor Del Grosso, who we'll get onto, who's a bit cheaper. But Quentin Hermans is very suited to this sort of parcours as well. Jean-Hier, another good one, who is very easy to overlook, but he's very good on this sort of terrain. Marissa possibly, but I would say Hermans or Del Grosso more realistically. Florian Vermeersch has been in great form recently, and although the parcours may not look to suit him too much, I would also say look back towards the end of 2023 and his results there, where he was honestly one of the best punchers I've ever seen. So I would say don't write off Florian Vermeersch. Form is a really important factor to be weighing into this, and he was very good in Roubaix. And I think that Vermeersch is worthwhile considering. Williams we haven't seen in like a month or two. I don't really know what to make of that. I wouldn't say this race is overly suited to him. Obviously, he'll be looking to defend his La Flèche Wallonne and do better in Liège-Bastogne-Liège. I'm not sure about this race. I would honestly say that Blackmore or maybe Corbin Strong would be a better choice for Israel Premier Tech. For 12 credit riders, there's not too many I like the look of. You might go for either like Bergado or Gachignard. For Total Energies, I would probably say they'd go for Jean-Hier though, in all likelihood. Zambanini possibly could lead Bahrain victorious. They haven't put their press release out yet, so keep your finger on the pulse for that. The 10 credit riders, I do quite like Baudin, actually, because he was 9th place in the Gran Premio Miguel Indurain. So he's obviously in some decent form. He was very, very much in the moves during the Itzulia Basque Country. Not on the form of, say, Ben Healy, but looking pretty good. So I quite like him. Perslan Hageners I also quite like. In a semi-classic, maybe Vismalisa might give him a little bit more freedom to do something. He is a good puncher. Star for the future. I think Hageners might do something in this race. Hullegaard has been in great form too. What was he? Top 15 in Dolonda and then top 10 in Paris-Roubaix. So he's clearly in good form and one to certainly look out for. The 8 credit riders, I'd be tempted by, I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's Lux or Lux, something like that. But Lando Lux, he has been in good form. I can't remember what race was it. Was this Circuit Ardennes or something like that? It's the one which Blackmore did really well in last year before doing well in Brabantse Pijl. And he was just up there in the top 10 all the time, going up against some pretty decent sprinters like Noah Hobbs and Sam Bennett. So he's a good puncher. He was very good in the Tour of Norway last year, very puncher-orientated race. So I think that he's a very under-the-radar pick that people might quickly look over. Milan Menton can turn it on in some of these punchy races, but it's a little bit clutching at straws. Po Mikel, actually, another good puncher to be considering, but maybe I'm not sure how he goes on the cobbles. It might be safer to go with somebody like Luca van Boven. He was second in a stage of the Itzulia Basque Country, so he's clearly sprinting quite well. It's the one which Caleb Ewan won. That's where he finished in second place. The 6 credit riders, you might go with Deliz de Puta. If they don't go for Van Boven, they might be going for him. Here is Tibor Del Grosso, the main man himself, the Mathieu van der Poel regen. And this guy's insane. He was top 10 in Dwaalsdorf Vlaanderen. He's only like 21 years old. And I think that Del Grosso alongside Quentin Hermans is a really interesting combination. We saw just how good he was in Volta Catalunya. His bike handling ability is insane. And I really like Tibor Del Grosso. Very high on him for this race. Alexander Camp, possibly. He's really hot or really cold in races. You might go with Molinar in that Gran Premio Miguel Indurain. He was second place behind Thibaut Nys. Although it was worthwhile mentioning, I think he was in a kind of move up ahead and then Thibaut Nys bridged up to him. So Molinar was kind of in an anticipating move to get that result, not necessarily because he was able to follow Thibaut Nace. Tim Rex, you might just go with for the assist points. Guillermo Thomas Silva, I like as well. He was fourth in that Gran Premio in Miguel Indurain. He was top 15 in a few stages of Itzulia Basque Country. He's a good puncher. I think he's a really good talent. He's the Uruguayan champion, and I think that's another one which a lot of people won't know about, and probably one of the better 6 credit riders. Byron Victorious, maybe they go with Rob Stannard if they don't go with Zambanini, and the other 6s aren't like that great in my opinion. I would probably go with just those other ones. And then the 4 credit riders, again, not much to be looking at. You might go with Aspaden for the assist points on Tom Pidcock. You might go with Lovan Bell for the assist points on Wout van Aert, stroke Tige Benoit. I say that Lovan Bell has, a higher probability of getting those assist points. And other than that, you're really looking at people to maybe get him a breakaway, but I'd say realistically you should go for the assist point farming. This is my team at the moment. Obviously, you guys saw it at the start, but I've got Wout van Aert, Pidcock, Tige Benoit, Florian Vermeersch, Lovan Bell, and Thibaut Del Grosso. I'm quite happy with the Wout van Aert, Pidcock, Benoit, and Del Grosso. I might swap out Vermeersch and go with, honestly, like Baudin, Hageners, Hulgaard, and then put those on to Lovan Bell to get Guillermo Thomas Silva, but that puts me on 98 credits, which is just like freaking me out. So I might go with an 8, like Lux or Po Mikel, Luca Van Boven, something like that. I'm not too sure. I might just keep the team as it is like this, to be honest with you. In terms of the Spring Classics game, I haven't actually thought about what I'm going to do yet. I will likely put on Wout van Aert. I'll probably put Pidcock on because I know that he's going to be doing Amstel Gold Race, and I'll probably also put on Benoit, I think, because I think he usually does quite well in Amstel Gold Race as well. So I might go with something like that and use a couple of transfers there, just because I still have 10 left over and I really need to start burning into them for these last few races, of which, I've already got Poggy in here to really carry me through. So I need to be using these transfers ASAP to try and maximise my points in the upcoming few races. But let me know what you're thinking in the comment section down below. Who are you thinking of going with? Is there anybody who I missed off? And yeah, all that is left to say is to stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video. Salut!